Hi, everybody. It's Melody Jones, and I'm doing my Blabbing Social with Melody. Back finally after a few weeks off here on Thursday mornings. And I'm very excited to announce my guest is Holly Clear, and she is the social media advisor. I love her. She knows everything. If I think I need to know something new or get an update, Holly's the one I go to. So she's going to be I know. Well, it's all true. So she's my super great guest, and I love her. I want to tell everybody that's on, which is just a few of us, anytime you want to tweet on the left side of your screen, that helps us get more people over here on the Blab. And as we go on, what will happen is Holly and I will talk a little bit about our subject, which is how to use storytelling in social media. And then we'll open up seats if anybody wants to come on and ask questions. So I'm going to go ahead and tweet out right now so we can get, maybe we'll get a few people out with us. See if it'll go. There we go. Okay, Holly, tell us all about you. Tell us about your business, how you maybe even a little bit about how you got started.
Yes, thank you so much, Melody. It's so much fun to get to do this. I haven't gotten an opportunity to blab very often, so getting to blab with someone that's comfortable with the platform is a nice treat.
It's perfect.
So I got started in social media actually by accident. 12 years ago, I had a company that was doing virtual back office support services for the telecom industry. Yes. And it was wonderful. It was very technical. I was a computer networking geek in college, and so it was a really, really good fit. And about 7 years ago, the entire telecom world changed. Cloud computing came out, and the companies needed to change their processes a little bit. And so bringing some of their processes back in-house and not outsourcing as much to outside vendors. And my team supported 38 agents all across the United States. And overnight, it changed, and systems changed, order processes changed, audits changed, and we kind of needed to re-energize ourselves with something new. And so one of my existing clients came to me and said, "You're doing all this stuff on LinkedIn. Do that for our business." And so it just sparked, and it went from a company that was just my husband and myself 7 years ago to now we have a team of people doing support, and we interact and co-op with all sorts of different companies, social media companies, website designers, SEO people, everyone that has their own specialty and specialty niche, and we like to collaborate on opportunities. And so that's the idea, is to try to help people grow their business, very much like how you do, and then teach folks how to incorporate practical processes into their social media so that way they can either manage it themselves or bring on team when they need to.
I like that word, practical. There are ways to handle social media so it's not so overwhelming. Yes. I know that we've talked about that frequently and with our colleagues as well, that it can be done. Here we are. We're actually living examples of you can handle a large volume of social media effectively and with practical purpose and with procedures in place. Basically, there's ways to handle it. So it sounds like you can help people figure that out or do that for them.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know, so you were an early adopter onto LinkedIn, and
yes, it was so much fun.
I'm trying to remember I was not an early adopter on there. I knew about it vaguely, but I didn't know I was not an early adopter. Tell me very quickly, and then we'll hop into storytelling. But what are some of the changes you've seen with LinkedIn, and how has it really helped you grow in your business?
Oh my goodness,
so many changes.
OMG. In the very, very beginning, it was a resume site. Everyone signed up for it and put their resume on there, and you didn't really do anything else with it. It was kind of like, well, here I am, and I don't have anything else to do. Right. And after that, people started telling their stories, and LinkedIn really became SEO friendly within its own platform, where every single word mattered. And they had slide share presentations that you could put on your profile. And then it sunk up to Twitter at one point in time where you could tweet and see it on LinkedIn. And, groups were happening, and people were actually actively having discussions in groups. And then eventually they changed things. SlideShare went away, and then they started adding things like buttons, these little embed images where you could have PowerPoint presentations, or you could download your YouTube videos or commercials to your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
And they enhanced with all sorts of different things like projects and interests. And gosh, there's so many fields now in the LinkedIn profile. But there's also private messaging. And at one point in time, you were able to message 50 people at a time without them knowing. And so that was a really great way to get a large message out. And then they also had massive group messaging where a moderator could message, 16,000 people all in one shot. And it was phenomenal for getting the word out on things. And now they've kind of taken things back a little bit. You can't message 50 people at a time without them knowing. If you're going to do a private message, it has to be one at a time. And there's new rules on groups. And it's fun because it's living and breathing and ever changing. And, things will come and go as the users have need for them. And so it's been fun to watch the journey. I like all the color enhancements where you can have a nice cover photo. And, company pages used to have all of your products and services listed. And now you don't really have that anymore. But now you can have status updates and engagement on those pages. And I think that's the ultimate goal, is getting to that place where people are actually using the platform to engage.
Yes.
Oh, and Pulse was a nice ad too.
And that's recent, relatively recent. Yes. I've been on there more myself because I realized I needed to be a little bit more active on there, but I like it because the engagement opportunities are better than they were. And I guess that's why I'm back on there now than I was, is because clearly that's what I actually enjoy, is the engagement piece. And it was kind of hard to do that before, and now there it is. So I guess that'll draw me in. So thank you for that. I know I kind of threw that at you, but thank you so much.
Oh, I can roll with the punches.
And one of the things I know you excel at and that you talk about on behalf of yourself and your clients is storytelling in social media. So maybe tell us, what do you mean by storytelling in social media?
That's a great question. And it's a misconception, actually, that people have with their profiles. So when you have a website, you've got your nice little About Us section. And, we've been established since 1979. And here's a little bit of information about our owners. But what does that actually say about what you do, the pain points that you solve, and the demographics that you target and support? It says absolutely nothing.
Right.
And knowing that the social platforms are their own search engines now, Facebook official search engine.
Yeah.
Every single platform, every word counts. So there's algorithms in place to bring activity back to you when you choose the right words. And there's also search capability when you use the right words. So the right words aren't necessarily the technical words that you might know from your industry. It's actually things that people are searching to find you. So in looking at a company, we're not going to search for Joe CEO who's been established since 1987.
No, that's right.
Right. We're going to look for, this is the pain that I have. This is the problem that I need solved. And who's going to be able to do that for me? So one of the things that we do is we take that entire story that you've got in your website. We're not asking you to change your website. We're not going to write your website copy for you. But we take all the words that you've got listed. We take all your products and services and your target demographics, and we kind of reword and re-engineer what that looks like for your social platform. Now, Twitter, you've got a very short amount of words you can actually use for your profile itself. But Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, we're still navigating through those new changes. But in Facebook and LinkedIn in particular, you've got so much room, right? You don't just have a short little blip. And what people are doing is they're creating their Facebook page and just doing that little brief intro summary, and then maybe copying some information from their About Us section and slapping it in the Facebook page. That's not doing anything for them as far as search results.
Right. Okay.
So that's what we like to do is get it kind of established first. This is the pretty picture of everything that could possibly make you searchable in the platform. And then when you post your status updates, those are going to work with the algorithms set up in the system. So that way you're found and you've got a higher opportunity for that. So if you decide to do paid ads, then you can incorporate the impressium and everything else to make you even more visible.
Yes. So I guess one of the things I've noticed is that frequently people don't fill everything out as fully as they could on their social media, on whatever social media platform it is. We all know that Twitter, of course, is limited. The bio part might only be 160 characters. I guess don't they give you a few more than 140 on the bio? So you don't have much room.
In which section is that?
On Twitter, on the Twitter bio, I know
it's really short.
So but on other platforms, I've noticed lots of businesses don't really fully utilize all the fields available to them, like on their Facebook pages. And so what you're saying is, not only should you utilize those, but make sure you're telling your story within those. And then as you're posting, you continue to tell your story in an updated way, like in a daily. Okay. Yeah. And so if somebody is struggling with what their story is, how do you help them figure out what their story is?
Well, there's a discovery process in that. We like to do what we call a technical interview, which is basically a series of questions that all are encompassed with the sections on a LinkedIn profile. So when you look at a LinkedIn profile, you've got your honors and awards, you've got your interests, you've got projects, certifications, all of those sections tell a very accurate story, believe it or not, on your entire history and who your ideal client is. And it's funny, Melody, because sometimes I'll go through the process of doing this discovery session and technical interview, and I'll hear things that they haven't really caught on to the fact that maybe they don't really like doing this thing, but they like doing this thing, and they want to start doing more of that. And so their entire marketing strategy, maybe you've focused on this small thing because it brings in dollars, but this other thing is their passion. So let's talk about that, because that's what you actually enjoy doing. And let's figure out a strategy to actually help you build an income off of the thing that you love doing. So if you took the time to actually go through all of the sections in your LinkedIn profile, which I know you have, but just speaking in general, if you took the time to go through all of that, you're going to discover there's things that you've done that you're really super passionate about that you might not actually be marketing today. And those are the things that you should be talking about.
And so when you say passion, in a business sense, or do you find sometimes that maybe a personal passion of a business owner can sometimes also play into their business image? Do you know what I'm asking on that?
Yes, okay. I'm completely on target with you.
Okay.
There's something amazing about entrepreneurs and owners of small businesses. They have a lot of drive to get things done and to build their business to something successful.
Yes.
And because of that drive, there's a huge passion behind what they do every day. They live, breathe, and sleep this thing, right? This widget or this service and their customers. Yes. And when you have that, there's a spark that lights inside of you when you're talking to that person, and you can just see they light up with bursts of energy. It's something that they love doing every day. I mean, it's what you do half your day, right? So you have to be passionate about it, but also things that you do outside of work. You're a writer, Melody, and that's part of what you do for a living, but it's also part of what you enjoy doing for fun as well.
Yes.
And so with that, you can easily cross-market that because it's your personal brand that you have passions about things, and that personal brand is what people like. It's that like, no, trust. I like Melody because of X, Y, and Z. Right?
Yes. Weren't we just recently talking about what makes us unique and what makes us unique?
Yes.
And so we are talking, as you know, a few of us are like struggling with what makes us unique. It sounds to me like maybe what makes a person or a business unique is what they're passionate about. Their passion is the differentiation.
Yeah, exactly. There's a question here.
Yes, I was just going to say we have a question.
I was going to go back to
that. And how do they work?
Really asked, can you define algorithms and how do those work?
Yeah. So
in the world of Facebook, the Facebook algorithm is basically set up to keep you from seeing everyone and everything that you're following. That sounds kind of crass, right? Because here I'm in a social media world. I'm here to socially engage, but yet you're not giving me the opportunity to do so all the time. So let's say I have 500 people that I'm connected to, and I'm following 100 pages. I might only see status updates from 30 to 50 of those people at any given time, and maybe an occasional update from a page.
Yes.
Now, when I have chosen to not like, comment, or share on someone's status update, they're going to go into this little algorithm loop, which means that they're going to fall out of my news feed, go into this little circle where they're invisible to me unless I choose to engage with them. And then they're going to pop back around and I'm going to see an update from them. Mm-hmm. At that point in time, if I don't like, comment, or share on their post, they're going to go back in that same loop. Yes. Same thing happens with pages. When you're not engaging with a page, or, social stalking, which is just, I'm watching, but I'm not saying anything, you're actually hurting your friendship, your relationship, right? Yep. With that page or with that individual, because when you're not engaging, they disappear. So that's kind of how the algorithm is set up in simplest terms. When you're not engaging, people disappear and they eventually fall back into that rotation. And you've got to like, comment, and share on things. I have a real quick story on that.
Oh, perfect.
My parents, they have the Facebook account, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And so they social stalk. And so my mom will get on and she'll say, okay, so, I got the email from your messaging with your friend on the Facebook, and,
right.
Mom, it's not an email. It wasn't sent directly to you. Well, can you ask Ian not to send me that? He didn't send it directly to you, Mom. You were getting an update on a comment. So let's change your privacy settings and your notification settings.
Right.
But with that, she'll say, you haven't done anything for a while on the Facebook.
The Facebook. Aren't you on the Facebook, honey?
The Facebook.
You're on the Facebook.
Right. Or the book face thing, right?
I think so.
So you haven't sent anything for a while to me from the Facebook. Well, Mom, it's because you're not engaging with me. You're just stalking me, and I'm going to fall out of your feed for a little while until you engage with me back. Well, what does that mean? You got to like my picture of our daughters, Mom.
Yeah, I know, and you know how you love your granddaughters. You know how you could show that on the Facebook.
Follow me on the Facebook. Give me some love.
I can say this because he's never going to see it. My husband's old boss, a few years ago said, so are you on your face? Your face? And we're dying. I'm like, he called it your face. I loved that. Your face. I've never forgotten. On Facebook, he's like, your face? Yeah. No, none of us are on that one.
My husband says the tweet face hoot deck.
Yeah,
that's exactly right on.
Yep, that's the one, honey. Oh my goodness. Well, that's funny. Thanks for explaining that. That is a really great way to talk about what's happening when you realize. I think people realize over time they're not seeing postings from pages that they like, and they don't really understand why that is. And so I know it's important for us to educate our clients and our fans that are on these pages, that if you want to see these more often, you actually, we would like for you to comment and like and interact. Yes. And besides, we want to hear from you. But if you do that, you'll see what we have, our offers and the things that we're talking about more often. And let's talk about organic. Let's talk about what that means for organic reach. We love to hear that phrase, organic reach, and how it's hard to get. And it all relates to the algorithm question. So what's your take on that? How does somebody get organic reach?
Well, organic reach has everything to do with that whole engagement component for me. It's not me investing in some sort of a paid campaign to where I've got a means to an end. I don't buy likes. I don't buy groups of likes. I actually have a horror story on that. I was working with an author who... She had 12,000 likes on her page, and overnight she went from 12,000 to 3,000. Well, Facebook will delete them, I've noticed it. Yes. Eventually, right? Yes. Well, they do go through and they'll clean house and get rid of fake accounts, and also platforms that are selling likes. Yes. But in this particular case, this company was shut down, and all of those accounts were removed. They were all robots. So her analytics as far as engagement were almost zero. Of course they were. They weren't real. Right. And she's so frustrated. I need to invest more in Facebook in order to get this, activity and engagement. And Well, no, you don't. Just don't buy fake accounts. And, she spent $1,000.
Wow, to that company that did that. That's just...
Yeah. So, it was absolutely devastating. But with it, if it's not necessarily about the number of likes that you have on your page. It's more about the amount of engagement. Do you have relationships that you're building? Because this is a relationship management tool.
That's right.
It actually brings me to the question that someone asked.
Yes, we have a couple over here. Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between social media and social marketing? Mm-hmm. And so social media to me means relationship management. I am on this platform to follow and engage with different pages and people that I'm interested in or have similar interests as I. Mm-hmm. And when I get to know them, it builds that know, trust. But then we actually have a relationship. Now, social marketing is promoting your product or service, and that also incorporates ad campaigns and different things like that, where you've got a strategy behind the dollars and cents that you're investing in a campaign.
I like that. I like the difference between those two.
Thank you.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And how, another one from this person that did you call him Dave?
Yes.
Escape the echo. Okay. How is your story altered by how you respond to customer comments? And I want to include the negative stuff in there because, it relates so much.
Oh, yes. This is a hot topic. We actually talk about this frequently.
Yes.
So how you engage, you've got your personal brand and your company brand, right? Well, if you're responding on behalf of your company to a customer complaint or a bad review or something like that,
right?
How you respond makes all the difference. We live in a very entitled time right now where everyone really loves their opinion being heard.
Yes.
And, I'm not wrong, you are. And no matter how incorrect the customer could be, you don't point it out. Sorry, you just don't. The best thing you can do if there's some sort of complaint or something negative is respond with honey, something positive, right? Because you can turn a negative interaction into a very positive one, which in result might make a lifelong companion or customer of yours.
That's right.
Because how you choose to respond makes the world of difference. Now, if I respond negatively, guess what that person's going to do? They're going to tell the 15 people that they know who are going to tell the 15 people that they know. And then there's going to be reviews on Yelp and Google Plus and everywhere else. And why risk that?
Well, and here's my other thought is not only is the person that you responded negatively to actively telling other people, others are watching you. And I think business owners aren't paying attention to the fact that others are watching how you respond. It's social media, it's public. So how you respond, if you respond negatively, you just did that yourself in front of all your potential fans that like your page or your account, whatever it is that you're on. And so they don't even hardly have to go out and be negative. You just did that to yourself by your public response. Yes. And I've seen many a breakdown, many a example of a negative response just spiraling out of control, and the negative publicity just isn't worth it. And so respond publicly, that's what I know, and then say, hey, let's have more discussion. At least that's what's worked with me, and I'm sure you as well. Let's have more discussion. Here's I'd like to contact you personally.
Yes.
And so if you say that, people love that.
Yes. Well, and I even saw there was a restaurant that got a negative review from someone, and by reading the review, they shared their entire experience, and gosh, that was a really bad day for that restaurant.
Yes. They were that detailed. Wow.
Yeah, based off of, I walked in and, from start to finish, It was a long story about this engagement. Well, the restaurant responded with, well, you've not given us the opportunity to try to make things right because you didn't even talk to management before you left. Whoa. Hold on a second. You're attacking me because I'm telling you about the experience that I had and trying to, point it out to you that let's make things right. After 57 comments back and forth where the restaurant was condemning their customer and the customer in return became defensive.
Of course.
It didn't end well. And then there were a lot of other people who were following the page of that restaurant who had a positive experience and said, I will never eat there again, commenting back on this thread. And I actually took it upon myself to privately message this page and say, you know what? In the future, it might be beneficial for you to say, I want the opportunity to make things right for you. What is it that you feel that I could do to make things right? I'm asking you, what would it take? And I'm going to go above and beyond to make that happen. Now, they don't have to respond to that, but I guarantee you they're going to pause for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I want that opportunity. I don't want to have that 57 comment exchange where now I'm having to moderate bad words.
No.
Right. So, yeah, it just makes a world of difference. So thank you for asking that question.
Well, so the story that restaurant just told was the kind of restaurant I don't want to go to because they didn't hear me. They're not going to hear me there. I don't care how good your food is. Your story that you just told on social media was a highly negative one, and you have lost my business, and I've never been there.
Forever.
Yeah, that's it. I have forgotten you now, and so goodbye. Yeah. So I love that. That's oh my goodness, yes. I've seen a few. So that's a great example. And can you post too much content?
Yes, you can.
I think so too. On certain, especially on specific platforms, you really can overdo it.
Yes. Okay. So it is kind of a pet peeve for me that Twitter, we have to post so much.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just use a good rule of thumb here. I've talked to different business coaches and keynote speakers and everything else, and organic activity, which doesn't necessarily look all planned out, is good. So if you're feeling in the moment, go ahead and post. But if you're scheduling 5 times a day in Facebook, there's people who are for it and people who are against it. And I'm just going to say, here's my fence that I'm sitting on.
Yes.
If it's working well for you, great. I hope you're not losing followers. But if you are losing followers, you might want to reconsider tailoring that back just a little bit, maybe to 1 or 2 posts a day, because of the fact that those people who are actually engaging with you, it's not necessarily that you're trying to reach out because of the algorithm. Right. The people who are actually engaging with you aren't really going to want to engage with you 5 times a day.
Right. That's true. You know who that 5 times a day and more works for is Kim Garst. She's a for those that don't know, although I think all of you know. Fire hose. I'm seeing that all over. She posts, I think, every time I'm on Facebook, and I'm on a lot because this is what I do for a living. There's something from Kim Garst on there. And I think for her, posting 5+ times a day works for her particular brand. But she is 1 in a million that works for. I think that most of us would be doing ourselves a disservice, and actually engagement goes down. I've seen a couple of studies. Engagement goes down at over 3.
Yes. I actually did a study this summer on my page because I ended up merging some pages and lost some content. I wanted to.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's not relive that. But if you ever have to merge pages,
here's your expert.
I've got some advice for you there.
Yes.
But so I did. I was posting 3 to 4 times a day, every day. And I did run tests, and my engagement it totally plummeted.
Ah, okay.
And it's not that the page was hidden. It was just that people were done seeing a post from the social media advisor all the time.
Yeah.
And so with that, then I changed everything to once a day, and then posting organic real-time things as they're happening. And engagement totally increased.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but in the Twitter world, if you are only posting once a day, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah, nobody's seeing you. It's just not enough. There's a lot of noise on Twitter, as we know, and so you have to be very conscious and strategic about how often you're posting for that reason. Is on social media in general, the noise is big and loud right now. Doesn't it feel bigger and louder than ever before to you? Because it just does to me. It just feels like a lot going on out there.
There is,
how to stand out in the noise,
There's a lot of noise, and then there's a lot of stuff that the media is pushing out there as far as tragedy, which brings up that next question. What's the best way a company reacts on social media when there's a national tragedy? This is delicate because I truly believe it's a living, breathing thing as well.
Yes.
How you respond absolutely has everything to do with what happened and where it is, right?
I agree with yes. You might address some tragedies and you might not address others. I think this sounds awful. This is going to sound awful. It's a per tragedy basis, but that's the truth.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Rachel. Sometimes you just stop posting for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Or you stop posting and that's what you do. I agree with Rachel too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's true. You know, if there's a tragedy and at a school that maybe is part of my community, personally on Facebook, I might be talking about it. Mm-hmm. Professionally, not necessarily sure I want that part of my brand, unless there's something that really stirs the company brand to promote something for that incident, you know?
Yes.
Domestic violence is something that I'm personally very passionate about, and something in 2016, we're going to be promoting some domestic violence awareness stuff. Mm-hmm. But we're very, very delicate about it because it's a difficult topic. And so you've got to be very careful. And then you have to promise yourself not to be too political or too opinionated. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to share a tragedy and then point out the faults of others, because again, that goes back to that whole, what do you really want your brand to look like? Mm-hmm. Now, if you are a political organization, you got to be careful not to slander others. Mm-hmm. You know, plagiarism is a big thing too. Don't own something that you don't actually own, and or stake a claim on it.
Right.
But yeah, I think seriously, if we kept a lot of our political, religious, and sexual beliefs off of any of our branding, that would probably be the best thing for any organization. Right. And on a personal level, if we kept that out of that world as well, because at some point in time, every single thing that you share on the internet is going to be visible somewhere, because it's the internet.
Deleting it doesn't work, people.
Yeah. There's lots of servers, right?
There's no delete. There's no delete. I just posted that recently, and I'm like, there's no delete. I don't know why you think there is.
You just hid it.
Yeah. Only from your eyes and your own mind. You didn't hide it from the rest of the world. Absolutely true. The internet's memory is that of an elephant forever. Yes, Rachel.
Forever.
The memory that never stops. Dang it.
There was a question you had asked too, Rachel. Do you tell a different story on different platforms? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You basically need to do in your marketing, you need to do whatever you're most comfortable with. Now, there's two theories on that. One, you could say, I know for a fact that my followers right this second at 10:34 a.m. have their Facebook open, their LinkedIn open, their Twitter open, their Google Plus open.
No kidding. Your particular followers are busy right now.
This is an imaginary.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wow, that you know that, though. But you could know that if you just look at your stats.
So, right. Okay. So I know for a fact at 10:34, I'm going to see a status update from Rachel Riley, who's going to say, this is the best Blab ever. And it's going to be the same on every single platform, right?
Yes.
Well, because I know that because I'm sitting on the platform and I'm looking at her status update. No, nobody's on all the platforms at the exact same time. And especially in the Twitter world, you can post a variety of different things, and most of your audience isn't going to see it unless they're subscribed to follow you, right?
That's right.
So you can post something very similar in multiple platforms, but in some cases, you want to kind of tailor your story to the platform that's there, right? So I'm not going to share a 500-word post that I might share in Facebook in Twitter because it's going to cut off.
Right.
So obviously, I'm going to make that story a lot shorter and maybe give a link to something else. Mm-hmm. There are folks that are passionate about changing the story for every single platform, and it's really to each your own. And if it's a system that works great for you, awesome. But I guarantee you that everyone who's in your audience is not on the same platforms, nor seeing all of your updates at the exact same time. So reach them as you see fit.
Yes, I like that. We have. Dave here has lots of great questions. Hi, Dave. You wouldn't tell contradictory stories correct. They would need to blend together. I'm sure your story needs to be cohesive in some way. Here, I'm going to star you and say, hi, yes. Contradictory stories, yes. I would think they must cohese in some way.
Yeah. Of course. I'm not going to share this picture about something and have it be completely opposite somewhere else.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Unless I'm trying to stir the pot, which we all know that there are people that do that.
Yes. I'm really not one of those. I just want to laugh and be funny and share puppies and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Cute puppy.
So I'm going to open a couple seats. Rachel, I expect you to hop on here.
Yes, that would be great.
And Dave, do you want to hop on? I'll open a seat. Hi.
I'm gonna move my.
Oh, your hair really is way different. I'm gonna do this.
I know, right?
Cute.
It is different. That's different.
Easy.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm waiting for my computer. Wait, hold on. I'm moving. I know you can see me, but I'm like moving my computer. There we go. Now I can see it. Yeah. So you guys are awesome, by the way. I love this topic.
Oh, thank you.
Very cool.
I just almost didn't even consult Holly. I said, "What do you want to talk about? These things?" She's like, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, you are," because I knew
I love it. Well, and I think I know we all hear about it all the time. Everybody hears all the time storytelling. Tell your story. How do I tell my story? Help me, So I love that you talk about that. It's like there's a way to tell a story.
And I love the fact that we were able to talk about how you respond to your clients tells a story. I love that your friend brought that up because, oh my goodness, does it tell a story? How you respond to your fans really does. So
okay, I'm relocating here.
Oh yeah, carry yourself around. Yay!
I can.
So Rachel.
Yes.
On Twitter, you super fun and super funny, and you talk all the time. Would that be accurate?
I don't talk as much as other people, but I do talk a lot.
Talk a lot, girl. So I have a reason for calling you out. For just calling you out like that, and that is that tells me a story about you. So what story are you shooting for? Because I have a certain story about you especially because of how I see you interact on Twitter, which you use it more than many other people do. It really works for you.
I do. I'm a writer. I love writing, and I like funny quip. I love jabs and quips. So there is a story there because some of my favorite authors and writers are like Joss Whedon, which you guys are going to see my ugly Christmas sweater tomorrow, and it's a little bit based on Joss Whedon. But I love Joss Whedon, right? Aaron Sorkin, and just people like that. Carrie Fisher. But I love people who can briefly make a really quick point, and preferably with humor. And I've always liked Twitter because it's so fast paced and quick, and to me that lines up with comedic timing. So I know. Hey Daryl, what's up? Daryl's on our Blabs a lot too, so that's cool. So that's why I like Twitter. Twitter, I know, has been mostly the marketing. That's where I coordinate with you guys and a lot of the marketing people out there. And I love Twitter chats because, again, I just think that the rapid fire of it is what I love. So, and you guys have now seen me, met me in person a few times, but it's like I do just like root, zingers and stuff. So I think that's why I love it so much. And I find that particularly comedians and stuff like that, and people who like to put animated GIFs on there and stuff, just have a great platform for that. So that is the Twitter stuff. The
Twitter, yep. That's what your story tells me. Yes, that's it's just you like the quick moving nature of it.
And that you have groupies.
You do.
Apparently I have groupies. Well, Daryl's been awesome. So actually, we're doing a Blab. Myself and my friend Tara are doing a Blab at noon about digital marketing. But Daryl's been on just about all of our weekly Blabs, and he's awesome. And he asks awesome questions. I love him. But
hi, Daryl. We are happy to meet you.
Yeah. So
thanks for stalking Rachel over to here. We appreciate that.
Which platforms do you guys get on like the most, like for your stuff?
Personally, boy. So you have to be careful with this because who knows who's going to see it. I just here's a disclaimer: I'm on Twitter a lot on behalf of my clients, and a little bit on myself. Mm-hmm. I actually prefer Facebook for me because that's where I personally get lots of interaction on there, and I have a lot of people I have conversations with. So me personally, Facebook is my oldest and dearest social media friend. So for me, that's where I seem to blossom and do best at. But in terms of for clients, just a disclaimer out there, I'm on all the platforms. But for me personally, that's my favorite.
Cool. Okay, so you're going to think I'm totally weird because, like, MySpace is my favorite.
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, that's so
really? I'm like, it's out there. It's music. It's out there, right?
It's still there.
Don't knock it.
Timberlake, man. Timberlake's out
I just
there.
love MySpace because you could have the custom background and you could embed the music, and it was
Scrolling
amazing.
It was really kind of cool, actually.
It's still out there. It's amazing. No, I haven't logged into MySpace in years, but yeah, I would say Facebook is my favorite as far as personal interaction. Professional interaction, it's wonderful, but LinkedIn, Twitter, I've got a secret Twitter account that I don't share with anyone except for a very, very secret circle. You have to have a place where you can outlet, you know?
Yeah.
And so I don't connect to everyone on Facebook. I just don't.
Right.
And generally, if I get an invite on Facebook from somebody I don't know, I'll message them and say, hey, let's connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But I get in moods where I am in love with Pinterest, and I get in moods where I am in love with Instagram. Mm-hmm. It just depends on the day, I think. What am I feeling today? Now, I will say Google+, I have really enjoyed the community and hangout aspect of that platform, but not necessarily engaging publicly on Google+.
Yeah, it's a different animal.
It is so weird. I feel like it's that kid that doesn't know what it wants to do when it grows up yet, and you're just like, figure it out, kid. I don't know.
Yes.
It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's got a lot
out of the house.
It's like the rich kid that doesn't know what it wants to be when it grows up because it's got all this Google power behind it and lots of like infinite brain power and infinite like everything, and yet it just doesn't know what it wants to do or be.
Kind of like a superhero standing there with his arms on his hips.
I have all of it at my disposal, but I don't know what I'm doing next.
I've got the Google cape.
The Google.
Facebook is my kryptonite.
How come you don't talk to me on the Google? That's really, I'm sad now.
You know, you brought up a good point though, and I actually, so publicly I'm on Twitter a lot, but I have at least one super secret Facebook chat and this thing has been going for years now. So I don't even know how many comments are in it, but it's with me and a few other people. And they're across the country, and that's where I go for private. I can air anything there, and it's private, and it's a trust tree, you know, and all that stuff. So, hey, girl, but that's where I go, and I feel like everybody needs that, because you know, if you want to be on social media, have that outlet where you're either anonymous or you can be very private and just air whatever you need to, and that group will always keep that secret, or you won't be found. Because if that can be hard to, you know, you're typing and doing all the stuff, you're doing it for people, other brands, or you're doing it for yourself and your brand, and so that's a natural conduit for you. We'll find another place then that you can do that for your personal views and stuff. I think that's really important.
Yes,
I agree. And I think with you know, a super secret thing, you can say some cuss words and stuff, and it's okay. Nobody knows you. You can have a moment, have a little meltdown moment. I like that. It's a really great outlet.
Yeah.
There was another question asked that says, "What is the most underestimated social media venue for businesses?" And I have some interesting thoughts on that.
It's social media venue for businesses. Yeah.
So
I thought of that.
MySpace. Are you going to say MySpace?
Snapchat is becoming really popular.
Yes.
Say that again. Snapchat. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Snapchat's becoming really popular.
Yes. Because that's a story. Those are stories on Snapchat.
Those are like Twitter stories, visual Twitter stories that are micro. Boom. Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still makes me nervous. Not gonna lie.
No.
Say that again. I didn't. You cut out.
It makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Well, it's been used as a bullying platform for people that realize the value of being able to say something really nasty and awful to somebody and have it go away. So that is concerning to me for parents out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of the platforms that don't have tools to be able to properly monitor, schedule things out to are the hot things right now, and maybe the most underestimated, because businesses are going to use them a little bit less because they can't schedule things out to them, and they're just newer tools. Why? Okay, just to go a side note, why is it that the kids are wanting to be on all these platforms that are so insecure? Just a thought.
Just because they're kids.
Do you think it's because they're hoping, and I'm just speculating, do you think they're hoping that if mom or dad ever gets hold of their device, they can hide it or delete it or whatever? You know, if it's temporary, it's like, whatever, I can just download that somewhere else. I have little kids too, but I've offered to do some coaching at my kids' school just to let parents know. I think the best way parents can deal with kids being on social media is let them watch you be on social media. You know, and if you take a video of the family, and my son will be like, "Hey, put that on Facebook, Mom." I'm like, you know what? No, I'm actually not going to put this video on Facebook, and here's why. You know, but I agree. I think it's kids are, you know, especially with younger and younger kids getting smartphones. Did you guys see that report like last month that said as young as 5, parents are getting their kids a smartphone? 5.
Yeah.
5 years old. No. 5 years old. My kid is still wet in the bed at 5, and you're going to give him a smartphone? I don't think so. Sorry.
No. No. At the very least, they don't understand it cost $800.
I mean, geez, it's like, oh, I'm kind of like a beacon spell. What happened to those?
I know, right? Like,
Etch-a-Sketch. Love my Etch-a-Sketch. Light Brights. Remember those? Or am I older? I'm probably dating myself. Light Brights. Oh, I love it. Anyway, so we're telling some of our own stories. No, but yeah, it's part of storytelling. Here, people are learning more about us. Yay! And actually, I promised this would only be 30 minutes. We're 48 minutes into it, so we're so talkative. I love it.
It's been so much fun, and I thank you so much for inviting me on.
Oh, it's been so much fun. And any last minute questions? Because we're heading out, people. We're heading out. So if you have any other questions,
want to have anyone else on too. I don't need to usurp the rest of the time.
Oh no, yeah, I locked it. Did I leave it open? No, I left it open for a minute. But we're about to go, so I'm really going to lock it right back up. See, I opened. I teaser. I opened it. I took it away because we're gonna fly out of here. Thank you both so much for coming on. Oh, who should I follow to see this again?
Yes.
Okay. What's Daryl, right? Daryl's the name. Daryl, I'm the hostess on this particular one. I have Blabbing Social with Melody on Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, and I have a variety of guests. And Holly is somebody that's near and dear to me that I know here in Colorado. And Rachel is somebody that's becoming near and dear to me. Over time, pretty soon we're going to do this as well. It's not just going to be Holly and me. You can be in there. And so, Daryl, I actually have different guests on. Most of them, always I'm going to talk social media. So whoever don't mind them. Whoever comes on is always going to be talking social media subject. So follow me for that. I don't know, Holly, are you going to be getting on Blab a little bit more, do you think?
Yeah, this is
okay.
Fun.
So follow Holly. Make sure you follow her. Of course, Rachel, we already know. She's all over. She's all over Blab. And I'll tell you what, Daryl, I will be having Holly back on because she does more than storytelling. She does so much in the social media arena that we have a lot of stuff we can pick her brain about. So I will be having her back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Thank you to everybody. Sorry some of you just got on, but yay, that was super fun. And I'm going to stop recording now and say goodbye to everybody. And thank you so much. Bye now. Thank you.